I'm Ben Savage with Veritas Automata. I have Scott Bly here. So you're giving a talk on API security and DevSecOps today?
Yep.
So why don't you talk a little bit about what's got you excited in those two areas right now?
So API security is blowing up primarily because the landscape has expanded so much, right? We're here at DevOps Day LA, right?
Yep.
DevOps has been phenomenally successful over the last 10 years, and so now you have the ability to get code to market faster in a repeatable fashion, which is great for getting features to market, and it's great for having resources we can all use and consume, but it's not great for security engineers to be able to keep up with that pace of innovation and delivery. As a result of that, you have an increase in the number of vulnerabilities that are out there. On the API side, you have the same problem with the explosion in microservices architecture, right? You're moving away from the monolith, so you have an explosion in APIs that have the same problem. They're growing faster than the security folks can keep up. So you have this increase in the number of vulnerabilities as a result of that, and the fact that APIs are a direct conduit to your data. In the same way that phishing is a great way to be able to get directly into the network, right? The perimeter doesn't exist anymore, and with APIs, you have access to the data directly. So when you have any API vulnerability, it can be exploited, and you have a direct impact. So that's what has me excited, is the size of the opportunity. Every single customer that I have interacted with has API vulnerabilities that they are blown away by. And one of the things that happens with more shocking regularity than you might expect is for customers to say, oh, I don't really need to worry about my APIs because they're all internal.
Yes.
And then you go, that's interesting. Have you heard of phishing? Have you heard of ransomware? Because it's not like somebody just was able to access something from the public internet and they were able to get in. So what happens to your APIs are all internal argument at that stage, right?
Well, and that's not even just APIs. It just goes to that whole idea of DevSecOps. Because the number of times I've talked with developers and development teams, and they go, it's secure, it's behind our firewall, it's all in our data center, in our AWS. It's like, okay, what happens when someone compromises one piece of it? Does that mean they get free reign to everything?
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. And on top of that, it's not just developers, right? It's on the operations side. How are you feeding that back into the developer ecosystem so that they're understanding what have you seen in the wild that's a problem that needs to be resolved, right? What's being seen? How do you get that into your backlog, et cetera? People think DevSecOps and they forget that there's an ops piece. They just think about DevSec.
Well, and it was those ops pieces that have been some of the biggest breaches in the last year or so, right? Where someone gets in the ops area, gets their password manager compromised, and all of a sudden now an entire system is compromised.
That's right.
Don't realize.
And then when you have the supply chain management side with SolarWinds and things like that, you've got real problems that happen on the AppSec side. So it's a never-ending rat race, if you will, or whack-a-mole, I guess is probably the right way to put it, where you've got the problems keep coming up. And then how do you prioritize? Let's say you take it seriously and you're actually exploring all of these challenges. How do you prioritize what needs to be done? The marketing department's not letting up on how fast the features need to be released. So how do you prioritize? And then you have the idea of threat feeds and intelligence in order to determine where's your biggest risk, not just to your business, but also what are the bad guys doing at any particular time. So finding ways to really integrate all those pieces together so you can execute your finite resources with the most effect.
So from an API security perspective, what's the one thing you'd hope developers take away from your talk and from today?
I think I'd have a really good answer ready for that. The one thing I want them to take away from that is come into your DevOps existing worldview with an open mind toward how to add security at every stage, right? Whatever stage is most important for your organization, it doesn't matter which one, because every organization is different, right? But be ready to have an open mind to make the changes that are necessary, and be ready to make the argument. This isn't in my talk, but be ready to make the argument to leadership about how to prioritize to mitigate the risks that are observed. I think don't limit your worldview, right? Come in with an open mind and be ready to collaborate with your security team, right?
That makes a lot of sense.
Go get a beer with them, right? Yeah.
So if people want to find you and learn more about what you're doing, where do they find you?
LinkedIn /Bly Scott. I'm easy to track down. SIS Inc. Is our website. I'm easy to track down. Google Scott Bly. If it's something nerdy, it's probably me.
Cool. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.